I'm glad you caught that question in the chat. Commissioner Scaccetti, you were the first woman to lead the New Jersey Department of Transportation in over 20 years. What advice would you share with our future women leaders, our leaders in general?
Absolutely. The best advice that I can give you goes really back to what Esther said early on, and it's about being your authentic self. There is no doubt that the field I work in is male dominated. If you come in our boardroom at any given time, if you go to New Jersey Transit, if you go to New Jersey Turnpike, very often I am the only woman in the room. But the important thing is I'm a woman and I have a skill set that is different than men have. And that's fine. We don't need to be the same. We need to be complementary. So don't try to be somebody that you're not. Don't try to be something that you're not. I think you got a lot of good advice earlier, and I think Chrissy gave you some great advice about knowing your business. The way that I'm able to walk into those rooms and to be successful is knowing my material. And that goes a little bit to that idea of challenging yourself versus overworking. There's a really important word in the dictionary that every one of us needs to learn, including me, which is no. Sometimes we cannot take on additional challenges. Sometimes we cannot accept every request or invitation. Sometimes we can't be on every team. We need to make sure that we the old expression, we kind of stay in our lane. I know you all want to be successful, but success does not come in a year or 3 years or 5 years. It comes over the lifetime of your career. And the best success you'll ever have is the outcomes of the work you do. So when you work hard and you do well and you perform well, you will be known by the work you do and the output you provide, the outcomes to your customers, to your coworkers, to the leaders of your organization. But you do sometimes, if you get, my mom used to say, the more you do, the more they ask you to do. Because if you're good at what you do and you finish things, you're like, hey, that's what's happening tonight. Hey, go ask Diane to do it. She's always there. She always gets it done. But sometimes that's at a pretty huge cost to Diane. So you sometimes have to be able to step back and say, listen, I cannot do this for you today. I can do it for you next week, but I cannot do it for you today. So if you need it today, we're going to have to look for somebody else to help you. If it can wait till next week, then I'm happy to do it. That's a very, very hard thing for women to do because we're trying so hard to find our place that we don't like to turn anybody down. I have news for you. My assistant tells me all the time, you got to say no more. You're killing yourself. Well, you know what? She's right. And I try. Every now and then I give myself a pat on my back when I can say no. And it's not because I want to be places. It's because I sometimes have to choose where I can be and be good at what I do, be ready for what I do. Stretching yourself too thin is not beneficial. So look at those things you've been asked to do, realistically assess if you're able to do them, and then make decisions about where you kind of put up the Heisman Trophy pose. Stop. I've got all I can take on for right now, but if you come back to me 2 days, 3 days, 7 days from now, I'm more than willing to help you. And I think you'll find that you'll balance that challenging yourself to overworking yourself a little easier. And that is a lesson I am desperately trying to teach my 28-year-old daughter. So we all go through it, every one of us, and know that you have the support of a lot of other women that will tell you the exact same thing.